Are you currently pregnant or hoping to become pregnant soon? Then definitely check out this video where I talk about 10 of the weird things that happen while you are pregnant. If you're ready to learn about that weirdness, click that like button and let's go. Hey guys, it's Amanda from theintuitivewife.com, and today's video is all about the weirdness that you may experience during pregnancy. This is not an exhaustive list, but I thought sharing would help you to mentally prepare for what is potentially to come. I've never really paid much attention to pregnancy or pregnancy related content because it just seemed like something that was still so far off in the distance. So this could be something that is just regularly talked about that I just had no idea because I just wasn't in that mindset or in that space. Let's get into some of the symptoms that I call pregnancy weirdness. Okay, number one is the non-existent ab muscles. I literally never thought, what happens to your ab muscles when there's a baby in the belly? They don't they don't exist. They basically move over to the side so that baby can fit in the middle. So if you are not pregnant yet, be prepared for your ab muscles to literally separate in order to make room for baby. Number two is swelling feet. I had heard that your feet swell when you're pregnant. What I did not realize was to the extent that they can swell. And not only can they swell, but they can actually grow a shoe size or half a shoe size and may or may not go back to your previous shoe size after delivering your baby. So it is possible, especially depending on the season, that you will need to buy new shoes during pregnancy to accommodate for either your growing feet or your swelling feet, because the swelling can get intense. Also, please make sure that you are keeping communication lines open with your doctor regarding your swelling feet, because this can be a sign of gestational diabetes and or preeclampsia. All right, number three is your inability to breathe. This actually makes sense when you think about it. I just didn't realize how early on it would start. About halfway through-ish of my first trimester is when I started having difficulty breathing. Your lungs are expanding in the beginning and they are trying to make room for additional movement because now you are breathing for you and for baby. And it kind of goes away in the second trimester. You kind of feel a little bit more normal. And by the third trimester, baby is just so big that it's pushing against your lungs and breathing is just difficult. Even just having a conversation with someone, a normal low-key conversation, will make you out of breath. I am out of breath right now just making this video, and I am not exerting myself by any means. The next weird thing is the pain or sensation around your belly button. Your skin here is expanding, continually expanding. I share in this video my experience in the first trimester with my belly area. But what I never really thought about was my belly button and how the skin around it would hurt as the skin around it just expands and stretches to accommodate for baby. There are days where it is so painful that it feels like a bruise and you flinch at the lightest touch. So if this is something that you are noticing for yourself, I have seen people with like kinesio tape around their belly for different reasons. Sometimes it's for the belly button, sometimes it's for low back pain, depending on what's going on. But kinesio tape is definitely an option if you are struggling with the pain and uncomfortable sensation around your belly button and stomach area. Also, fun fact, your belly button might go from an innie to an outie for a short period of time. Okay, the next thing is round ligament pain. Your stomach is expanding, so your muscles are working overtime to help support this extra weight and extra body in your stomach. What I didn't know is that it could start basically as early as the first trimester. I remember going for a walk and getting just sharp pains in my muscles. The good news is, at least for me personally, it is not something that I need to deal with 24/7. It's really just if I'm trying to stand or breathe or walk, no big deal. The good news is that it doesn't affect baby and that there are some things that you can do to help reduce the pressure or relieve the pain a little bit. Okay, I think we are on number 6 now, and this weirdness is lightning crotch. I don't think that's its official term, but that's just how I've heard it be referred to. I did not know that there was a bundle of nerves, basically like, I don't know, at your vagina or somewhere, so that when baby moves and gets heavier, that it can actually put pressure on or hit that bundle of nerves, and it feels like it's shooting pain right in your crotch. It might make you hunch over and be like, oh, or it could last for about a minute. But either way, it is not a comfortable sensation and was a surprise to me to be experiencing it during pregnancy. Now, the reason this happens is because as baby is getting into proper position, your pelvis actually pulls apart and separates a little bit. Baby starts to shift down into your cervix and can hit some nerve endings that are just not comfortable. Okay, moving on to the next one is pregnancy mask or melasma. This is basically a series of brown spots that can accumulate around your body. Typically, it happens on your face at the high areas, so your forehead, your cheekbones, your nose, and sometimes your upper lip and your chin. Also, I believe your forearm, and in some cases, your thighs. Now, melasma is due to, of course, the surge of hormones, but also can be due to sun exposure. I have read that if you wear some sunscreen and a wide-brimmed hat and avoid being outside between the hours of 10 and 2, then you are less likely to develop pregnancy mask. I pretty much wear sunscreen every single day as part of my daily routine, and I still got melasma. You probably can't see it in the video here. It really just looks like a whole bunch of freckles. Typically, it goes away after pregnancy, but not always. Out of all of the things that I have experienced during pregnancy, this is the one I care about the least. Even though it's on my face and everyone can see it, there have been so many bigger things to worry about and deal with that this seems like nothing, and it's barely even noticeable. All right, something else that happens during pregnancy that I didn't know was a thing was the brown line on your stomach. Again, because of the surge of hormones, this makes your skin look darker in certain areas. In most women, not all, but in most women, they may notice like a dark line basically from their pubic bone up to their belly button. This is completely normal and typically goes away after a few months after you give birth. What's interesting is that this line was always here, it just wasn't necessarily visible. Because it wasn't visible, it was actually called linea alba, and then the surge of hormones changes the name, changes the color, and you suddenly have a brown line on your stomach. What's interesting is experts, doctors don't really know why this line happens, why it exists, but it's also interesting that it changes based on the pregnancy. In this pregnancy, you might get it in the middle of your first trimester, and in the next pregnancy, it could be halfway through your second. Regardless, it's pretty likely that you'll get it, apparently even if, especially if you are darker skinned, but it's a completely normal thing that I've never heard anyone talk about. Okay, number 9 is hot flashes. I knew hot flashes was a thing. I did not know it was a thing during pregnancy. I also didn't know it was something that could start as early as 20 weeks in pregnancy and you could continue. Also didn't know that it could be more of a thing in your 3rd trimester. The hot flashes are a serious thing, and I'm just going to throw it out there. I think it's very unfair that we have to experience it during pregnancy and then again later in life during menopause. Okay, and the last thing, I put it as weird, whatever, call it weird or not, doesn't matter, was the placenta. Did I know it existed? Yes. Did I know what it did? No. Could I tell you what it was and that you could have an anterior or posterior placenta? No. Could I tell you, or did I know that you could feel it press against your stomach at times? Again, no. Did I ever put any thought into what happens to it after you give birth? Definitely not. Fun fact, placenta is literally an organ that grows once you become pregnant, and it is what helps nourish the baby throughout pregnancy. It is magically created and attaches to the wall of your uterus and provides the baby with nutrients and oxygen. And also, just in case you were wondering, you do need to push it out afterwards. Yeah. So that is my list of 10 weird things that happen during pregnancy that you may also experience. And on your screen right now are some other pregnancy-related videos that you might find interesting and hopefully helpful to help you manage this crazy time in your life. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.